They're all Americans, and you see the beautiful plaques they've received for that recognition. But as you said, George, this will be a great match. Steve Cassidy from Plum High School. He said the rest of the Pennsylvania wrestlers will regret that they didn't come here because it's been a great week all week. And he said, he's been in a lot of big matches the last 5 weeks and he's tired, but he said he's going to look for a match next week. So he said you can't be too tired when you're going after a national championship. And Pitt, Lehigh, and Edinburgh are 3 of the colleges that Steve Cassidy from Pennsylvania is looking at right now.
Cassidy wearing the red anklets, and John Weber from Anadarko High School in Oklahoma wearing the green anklets. And Weber 74-12. Cassidy 85-14, and is the only Pennsylvania AAA champion team member in this event.
He's the takedown artist, 122 takedowns, John Weber of Oklahoma. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Both go off the mat, resume the standing position.
I asked him where he might be thinking about school, George, and he said, well, everyone dreams about Oklahoma State, in my state of Oklahoma, but he's not sure if he'll go there because he wants to wrestle early in his career.
Cassidy trying to gain control. He's in on a leg. They're very close to going out of bounds on the mat, and they do go off the mat, so they'll resume in the standing position.
I was asking him about what his hobbies are. He said, I have no hobbies. I'm into agriculture. He said, I'm the president of the local chapter of the FFA, and he said, between that and wrestling, I have no free time.
Mike wanted to know what FFA meant. He asked me, Future Farmers of America, Michael.
I'm a city man. He was a nice young man. It was enjoyable interviewing him yesterday. No score, a minute 14 left. They're just in the feeling out process.
Both of these wrestlers very, very aggressive.
From his high school, he is the first state champion at, as we said, a high school not very far from the University of Pittsburgh, about 25 miles, but he's the first state champ.
In on a leg is the young man from Oklahoma, and Cassidy is in trouble. 2-point takedowns for Weber. As they both go off the mat.
I asked John Weber, I said, the fact that last week Pennsylvania had their classic, Pennsylvania versus the rest of the United States, the Oklahoma wrestlers didn't do too well. He said, I'm going to make up for that tonight. He said, I have a chance against a very good Steve Cassidy.
They bring the clock out as Cassidy was shaken up as he went out of bounds at the edge of the mat here. He says he's all right. They will resume action with Cassidy in the down position. He trails Weber 2-0.
Steve told me there was a lot more pressure at the state tournament. He said, because I had people that my home folks thought I should beat. He said, here, with all the state champions, no one knows what to expect. They expect a lot from a Pennsylvania wrestler. He said, but so do the Oklahoma people and the Iowa people and California.
Cassidy trying to stand up and get the escape.
He's in on that wizard, yes, and
there's 1 point for the escape for Cassidy. Now 2-1 in favor of Weber. They both go off the mat. They will resume in the neutral position. Incidentally, Weber echoed the same sentiments that Cassidy said. He said that really he has not been nervous at all at the tournament. There's been no pressure on him at all.
I asked Cassidy when he started wrestling. He said, well, in the 2nd grade. I was, Pennsylvania being what it is wrestling-wise, and you start early in those Oklahomas, Iowas. All the kids from those states seem to have started like 3 or 4 years earlier than the other young men from other states.
As we start the second period, Cassidy choosing the down position to start the second period.
Two to one.
Cassidy struggling to escape. He's attempting wizard again. Cassidy
Not out of bounds yet.
is very close to.
Keeping those toes in bounds for the weight possession.
Looks like he'll probably get one here as they
Yes.
go out of bounds. Let's see. No, they say he. Weber was apparently still in control according to the officials, so Cassidy starts from the down position again with 1:18 left, second period.
Some of the Pennsylvania fans thought that call could have gone either way. We had James Sterner from Verona, PA, making that call.
Cassidy trying to stand up. And he gets 2 points for the reversal. Cassidy now leading 3-2 over Weber.
That was an injury. Reds on the clock. That's Cassidy once again. That's the second injury time.
Looks like he hurt his leg this time.
Well, that's close. we won't go any further than that.
Let's just put it this way, he's in a little bit of pain right now.
Yes, and you can see the clock right over him. In high school wrestling, they let the coach and the wrestler know exactly where he stands with the 2 minutes that he gets for the injury timeout.
This injury occurred with 55 seconds remaining in the second period, and Cassidy with a 3-2 lead over John Weber. Weber in the down position.
I'm sure Cassidy's used about a minute of that 2 minutes that he is allowed. Steve has an 85-14 career record. He has a one state champion to his credit. We say that because a lot of these young men work on 3 or 4 state champions that are here in this national meet.
Weber trying to stand up and get the escape. Double leg by Cassidy as he took him down again.
With that weak single that he's been working on.
Cassidy retaining control. They both go off the mat. We haven't had a chance to see him use the cradle move, which is one of his favorite moves, Cassidy.
The king of the cradle will be coming up in another 2 matches from now. We'll talk about him later on, but Steve Cassidy does like to use that cradle. This could lead to some big things right here.
Cassidy still in control. Potentially dangerous hold, so they'll start it again. With 18 seconds remaining, second period.
We've seen the refs very quickly call that potentially dangerous hold here in this tournament, and with good cause. These are all state champs.
Cassidy trying to work for the arm bar. Second period. Steve Cassidy from Plum High School in Pittsburgh leading John Weber from Anadarko High School in Oklahoma 3-2 in the 135-pound weight division.
And to put it a little clearer, it's Steve from Pennsylvania versus John from Oklahoma. And they said it was different representing their states instead of representing themselves and their schools and their state meet here in this national meet.
Weber trying to stand up. Cassidy still in on the leg, but
he's going for the out of bounds.
Trying to shove him off the mat, and they both go off the mat. Cassidy retained control with that leg.
Very close. Very close. Cassidy knew exactly where he was, and he needed to get out of bounds.
Picking up a single, trying to control his opponent is Cassidy.
He's been very good with that single all tournament long.
A minute 25 remaining in the match. Cassidy ahead by the slimmest of margins, 1 point at 3-2. Reverse crossbody for Cassidy.
You know, I asked these Pennsylvania wrestlers, George, you know, who do they look to as far as we see another another injury for Steve Cassidy, and this is the third with that clock ticking away. This could turn into something before this match is over. But I was asking him, and a lot of them said Mr. Hasselrig from Pitt Johnstown, the young man that came from a Division II school and won so many national championships in the advancement, coming up from 2 and going into Division I. That won't be allowed anymore. And it's a rule I think that they should have kept in. It was always the dream of the Division II wrestlers to move up to 1 and win a national championship, and the NCAA has done away with that. I think the Division I powers didn't like the Division II guys coming up, and like Mr. Hasselrig.
Weber trying for the escape, but Cassidy still in control. Under a minute remaining in the match. There's the Navy ride for Steve Cassidy. He's going to try and hike the legs up and go for a fall. Weber trying to crawl out of bounds.
He needs to, because that Navy ride, if you can get it up high enough, you can get a fall. Cassidy.
They warned Cassidy for stalling.
Yeah, he's hurting, and he is trying to look up at that clock, and that's a warning.
35 seconds left in the match.
And he's ahead 3-2, 35 seconds away from a national championship.
"30 seconds is an eternity in wrestling."
We have to watch for the stalling now. Both referees are very aware of the score and the time.
Cassidy trying to hang on. He's trying to work for a half Nelson, Cassidy is. And there's a stalemate with 5 seconds remaining.
All right, that gives Mr. Weber one last shot with 5 seconds left for a national championship. This is what he needs right here, an escape.
To tie it up and force overtime. 2 seconds, 1 second. He will not get it. Steve Cassidy. Two minutes of riding time that time for Steve Cassidy. And naturally, they don't count riding time in the high schools like they do in the college ranks, but it was a very, very good performance by Steve Cassidy.
And Pennsylvania's first national champion, and as we said, the other 7 below him will all be All-Americans. Top 8 in each weight category becomes an All-American.
Cassidy decisions John Weber from Oklahoma 3-2 to win the championship in the 135-pound weight class. Let's check in with Steve Cassidy and Jim Herbstreit.
Thank you, George and Mike. We have Steve Cassidy, our winner. He's from Plum High School. Steve, you won the war between Pennsylvania and Oklahoma, and it looked like a war out there.
Oh, yeah, it was tough. He was good. That's the first time I was behind all year, you know. First time someone got a first takedown on me. It's a little scary, you know. Only second time I've been taken down, and I don't know.
Looked to have a couple of injury problems out there, but you managed to overcome those to win, too. And this was a great opponent.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I just got a couple shots. One, you know, and then my ankle was twisted at once. And I don't know. It's a tough match.
Thank you very much, Steve. Go take a rest, I think. Thanks very much. Congratulations. And now let's go to a commercial. We'll be back with more from the National High School Wrestling Championships after this.